This is an NBC News special report.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is So Listen Dr. Radio, bringing you guys a brand new story today. Man, you know I got some stories, man. I have a lot of stories that come on this channel. Some of them be fucked up. Some of them be horrible. Some of them be scary at times. But this story today, man, is a story for us, black folks in America, especially black folks in the U.S. of New Orleans, Louisiana. My Louisiana natives. Everybody in Louisiana right now should pay attention to this story. This is a story that was sent to me by a fan of mine on Instagram by the way of Mia X, Mama the Mia. Shout out to Mia X and the young lady who sent this to her. She sent it to everybody else on Instagram. I watched this earlier today and it pissed me the fuck off. I want you guys to pay attention to it. I'm gonna play it right here. I want you guys to pay attention to it, and then I'm gonna explain to you some shit about what it means. I'm only gonna keep you guys for 15 minutes. Please pay attention. It's very, very vital that you pay attention to what she's saying. If not, shit gonna go over your heads. Now, let's go ahead and get into it. Please pay attention to what she's saying. This is some real shit. And if you are black in the U.S. of Louisiana, and you have somebody that's in prison, or you have somebody, whatever, that's in the U.S., Louisiana, pay attention.
Because the story should have national coverage right now, but Louisiana especially, please pay attention. So my mama brought this in here and asked me about this constitutional amendment we have on the ballot for November, which is Act 246, which is HB 298, provides relative to the prohibition of involuntary servitude and administration of criminal justice. So when you hear people say slavery is on the ballot in Louisiana this year, it is. Now here's how it's going to read on the ballot. Do you support an amendment to prohibit the use of involuntary servitude except as it applies to the otherwise lawful administration of criminal justice? And it amends Article 1, Section 3. The answer is no. Vote no so that they can clear this language up and introduce it again in another session. Here is why. Remember on here it said it amends Article 1, Section 3. Here is Section 3 of the Constitution of Louisiana. No person shall be denied the equal protection of the laws. No law shall discriminate against a person because of race or religious ideas, beliefs, or affiliations. No law shall arbitrarily, capriciously, or unreasonably discriminate against a person because of birth, age, sex, culture, physical condition, or political ideas or affiliations. Here's what they want to amend. Slavery and involuntary servitude are prohibited except in the latter case as punishment for crime. What they're proposing is already in our Constitution. Slavery is prohibited except for punishment of crime. Criminals in Louisiana can be enslaved and forced to do involuntary servitude. That's already on the books. That's 13th Amendment. Go watch 13th on Netflix, the documentary that Ava DuVernay put together. That is what we're talking about here. But what they have changed it to is this. They're just changing wording. Subparagraph number 1 of this paragraph does not apply to the otherwise lawful administration of criminal justice. So that's the same thing. The lawful administration of criminal justice makes slavery okay in Louisiana. And this is what they're just saying it over again. That doesn't make any sense to me. I am not a lawyer, but I called a lawyer friend and she told me that's exactly what they're doing. She said that they are broadening the scope is what she said, that they're basically putting it out there, taking it back to Jim Crow days, like basically saying they can subject you to involuntary servitude for any application of any kind of criminal justice they deem necessary, and it will be legal. So vote no on this shit, y'all. Vote no, vote no, vote no.
What she's saying is, if you go to jail for any fucking reason, you can steal a bubble gum, and the judge want to put your ass in jail, they'll put your ass in jail for slavery. You'll be having to do slavery. What's next, ladies and gentlemen, if they bring that back? Then they gonna try to sneak some shit again and put some shit out there, and we ain't gonna read it. My mama always told me jokingly, if you wanna tell niggas a secret, if you wanna hide shit from niggas, put it in a book. Because black folks don't like to read. It's a fucking fact. It's we just don't like to read. It's not all. Not all. I'm sorry, in today's society I gotta say not all. But not all. Not all. Don't like to read. I like to read. But at the end of the day, you put shit in a book, you put shit in different wording, we don't know what it means to some of us, so now we like, what the fuck is going on here? This shit don't sound right. This young lady explained it perfectly. Explained it to the T. And I got the shit in front of me. And what it says, she says the same shit here, and it says the same shit over here on this computer monitor. It says the same shit. They're trying to bring back slavery. This is not a fucking joke. This is not a fucking drill. They are trying to bring back slavery. We already know in prisons in the U.S. of Louisiana, I keep saying the U.S. and Louisiana, I'ma keep saying that because this is the U.S., bitch. This is not back then. This is America, where slavery was banned and disbarred years ago. Why y'all trying to put that back in the fucking laws? Huh? Because y'all thought black folks weren't gonna go to these polls. Y'all thought black folks weren't gonna go vote this year. Y'all thought that y'all can just sneak that shit by us. Like my grandpa always told me. The white folks who used to be KKK members, they don't wear sheets no more. They don't wear no sheets no more. No. Why would we wear sheets? We can't be KKK no more. They're the ones that's in the fucking offices making these laws. That's who the KKK is. The KKK is the police officer who's in the police department who secretly doesn't like black folks. So every time he sees somebody black, because he used to be a KKK member or he was raised in that shit, he wants to stop you. It is real in the fucking United States. It is real in Louisiana. And if you got somebody in Louisiana, a loved one or anything, you should get this story out here. Not enough people are talking about this shit. Not enough people are bringing it to your fucking existence. This is serious. This is not a joke. This is not a fucking nothing. Rules. This is serious. They're trying to bring back slavery. I had to go to sleep because I got my hair done early. I woke up at 7 o'clock this morning to go work out, or 5 o'clock this morning to go work out. I was tired. I had to get my fucking sleep. It was draining because this topic was going to be so draining to me. I had to go get some rest to talk about this shit. It's crazy that they're trying to bring back slavery. Here's the news story from a news station in New Orleans who talks about it and how the people want you to go vote no. Go vote no.
Voting is underway and we're inching closer to Election Day. There's one proposed amendment change that's tripping up Louisiana voters, and it's causing controversial conversations surrounding slavery and involuntary servitude.
Yeah, WDSU reporter Ariel Brumfield is live to break down what it means when you vote yes or no on ballot issue number 7. Ariel?
That's right. Amendment number 7 is a tricky one, and it has many people discussing whether or not prison labor should be voluntary.
It could be interpreted to do the opposite of what we're proposing.
The Louisiana Constitution currently states slavery and involuntary servitude is prohibited with an exception to punishment for crimes. Louisiana State Rep and amendment author Edmund Jordan says amendment number 7, if passed, will allow legislators to clarify the language in the Constitution, removing all exceptions.
I think the better way of trying to correct this is to vote no on it and to go back to the drawing board and make sure that we got the language right.
On the ballot is constitutional amendment number 7. If you vote no, the amendment would be sent to legislators to clarify language to prohibit slavery and involuntary servitude with no exception to crime. If you vote yes, the language in the Louisiana Constitution remains the same, leaving room for ambiguity and misinterpretation. The amendment also causing chatter around the push to enforce prison labor. Private criminal defense attorney Sarah Stravinsky says voters should vote no because the language used is harmful and could possibly expand the use of hard labor for criminal sentences.
While it may not affect folks who are sentenced to punishment at hard labor, I do think it's going to have some effect on the criminal justice system and the folks who administer it.
Jordan feels this amendment will correct a historical wrong.
People should be held accountable for their crimes. So that's not necessarily. I want to be clear on that, but at the same time, people should be treated with humanity.
And so far, 3 states have approved similar proposals to end forced prison labor. We'll have this full explanation again on our website at WDSU.com. Travers, back to you.
All right, Ariel, a lot to unpack there. Thank you very much.
And I wish this law was being broadcasted in Texas, because I have a brother that's in Texas prison. Everybody know who I'm talking about, my brother Parker. And when I tell you this Texas prison make these people work in these jails, don't pay them at all. At least in the U.S. of Louisiana, you get paid 30 cents, 20 cents to work in jail in Angola or in prison. They give you some type of money to put forward to yourself so you can pay your restitution fines, so you can pay yourself, have money when you get out of prison. In Texas, you working for free. These men work all day and they work all fucking night for free. That's slavery. This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to bring back slavery. I'm gonna let y'all listen to this shit again. This is very powerful. Please pay attention to it. Vote no. If you can bring your ass to the fucking polls, if you can bring your ass to Bourbon Street every week, and you can bring your ass to these football games every weekend, and you can bring your ass to these clubs and go shake y'all asses, you better bring y'all bitch asses to these polls and vote no. Because if not, any loved one that you have that's in prison or go to prison might have slavery brought on them. That means even if it's a fucking dollar that they steal from a bubble gum, a piece of bubble gum, they can be bought to do motherfucking slavery, hard labor in prison. And if you're okay with that, don't go your ass to these polls. But if you're not okay with that and you want to make them change the language in this shit, vote no. Check it out. Let's see it again. This is some fucked up shit. And I'm glad. Thank you. Shout out to Amir X. Shout out to the young lady who put this up on her page. I really, really appreciate you.
Pay attention. Okay, Louisiana, please pay attention. Everybody should be paying attention because the story should have national coverage right now. But Louisiana especially, please pay attention. So my mama brought this in here and asked me about this constitutional amendment we have on the ballot for November, which is Act 246, which is HB 298, provides relative to the prohibition of involuntary servitude and administration of criminal justice. So when you hear people say slavery is on the ballot in Louisiana this year, it is. Now, here's how it's going to read on the ballot. Do you support an amendment to prohibit the use of involuntary servitude except as it applies to the otherwise lawful administration of criminal justice? And it amends Article 1, Section 3. The answer is no. Vote no so that they can clear this language up and introduce it again in another session. Here is why. Remember on here, it said it amends Article 1, Section 3. Here is Section 3 of the Constitution of Louisiana. No person shall be denied the equal protection of the laws. No law shall discriminate against a person because of race or religious ideas, beliefs, or affiliations. No law shall arbitrarily, capriciously, or unreasonably discriminate against a person because of birth, age, sex, culture, physical condition, or political ideas or affiliations. Here's what they want to amend. Slavery and involuntary servitude are prohibited except in the latter case as punishment for crime. What they're proposing is already in our Constitution. Slavery is prohibited except for punishment of crime. Criminals in Louisiana can be enslaved and forced to do involuntary servitude. That's already on the books. That's 13th Amendment. Go watch 13th on Netflix, the documentary that Ava DuVernay put together. That is what we're talking about here. But what they have changed it to is this. They're just changing wording. Subparagraph number 1 of this paragraph does not apply to the otherwise lawful administration of criminal justice. So that's the same thing. The lawful administration of criminal justice makes slavery okay in Louisiana, and this is what they're just saying it over again. That doesn't make any sense to me. I am not a lawyer, but I called a lawyer friend and she told me that's exactly what they're doing. She said that they are broadening the scope, is what she said. That they're basically putting it out there, taking it back to Jim Crow days, like basically saying they can subject you to involuntary servitude for any application of any kind of criminal justice they deem necessary, and it will be legal. So vote no on this shit, y'all. Vote no, vote no, vote no.
Someone who doesn't go to the polls, who haven't been to the polls, who don't have your voter registration, man, I'm counting on you guys to make us proud out there, man. Go to these fucking polls. Let them know that they can't push shit over our eyes, because what they want to do, they want to push it in the books, and they know black folks don't like to read, or they claim that black folks don't like to read, and they know that, okay, if we put some shit in these books, in this bill, they're not gonna go down there and read it. They're gonna go down there and vote, easily not reading what the shit say, not reading through what it says, or reading through the language and what it says, and we can be able to pass this shit up over their heads. My mom always told me they will do shit like this to us, because when you don't give us simple shit and it goes over our head, you can pull the wool over people. This is what they're trying to do. Don't let them do it. Go down there and vote no. Go down there and vote no. If your ass can go on Bourbon Street, and your ass can go out of these clubs, and y'all shake y'all ass at these clubs, and y'all be on Bourbon Street a lot after the games and all this shit, y'all spend all this money on Mardi Gras, y'all spend all this money on y'all weave and hair, y'all spend all this money on y'all makeup and shit, y'all spend all this money on y'all Jordans, and y'all fucking shoes, and y'all Gucci purses and all this shit, to go shine on somebody on Instagram, on Facebook. Take your fucking ass to this voting booth and vote no. You have a duty, you have a just due for your ancestors who died and fought so we can have the right to vote. I want y'all to understand something. Put a couple of pictures here. This is where we came from. This is where we came from. Y'all want that back? Y'all want that back? Y'all want to be able to have a child to have his mom being sold in front of his eyes? That's what slavery was. A mother seeing her child being sold in front of her eyes. That's what slavery was. If y'all want that type of shit right here that you see on the camera, on the background, vote yeah. Vote yeah if you want that. Because if it's something like this that they put over our heads because they think we stupid and we ain't gonna read, what they gonna do next year when they try to vote again? Maybe they might put, let's go ahead and put it in society. Is it slavery okay for society again? Vote yeah or no. But they're gonna put it in some different language. Because if they can pull that over our heads, what else can they pull over our heads? You know what I don't see on the bill? The raise the gap for high wages. I haven't seen that put out there yet. Instead of us having $7.25 as a pay for minimum wage, other states is higher than that. We the only state in Louisiana. We the only state in the U.S. that has $7.25 still for minimum wage, and that's a fucking shame. Where everything is high now. Everything is high. So if you want that shit to stand, vote yes. If you want that shit to stand and you don't give a fuck about your people, vote yes. But if you give a fuck about your people and you give a fuck about what's going on in America, especially in Louisiana, you're gonna vote no. Bring your ass to these voting polls and vote no.